Hi everyone, so I'm back with another video. This is going to be my May reading wrap up. Sorry for the 1 to 2 week of no videos. The only explanation I've got for that is life. So yeah, so I've read 10 books in May. Mix of one audio, Kindle and physical. Got the physical ones on this side. I had to lean over and put them way too far over there. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is Kindle. I've got all the Goodreads stuff and details on my laptop, my phone. So the first book I read, which was a Kindle book, was The Exorcist's House by Nick Roberts. I gave this 5 stars. It's one of the first horror books I've read, fully horror books I've read. I really liked it. Really, really good. Great writing style. It's so much atmosphere into it. Tension as to what was behind the basement door was really well written. It only added to the curiosity of what was in it and what was behind the door. The horror was just so demonic on so many levels. It was amazing. Yeah. So I read that one. The second book I read, which was physical, this has got a lovely story to tell, was Pooh the Bouncing Bear. So yes, this is a children's book, so I read this after I read a horror. I give this 5 stars as well. It's so cute. I'll show you something about this in a minute. It just teaches about problem solving and accepting yourself. Pooh can't bounce. Well, he learns to accept that even though he can't bounce on the outside, he's bouncy enough on the inside, and it's so cute. I love Winnie the Pooh. I collect Winnie the Pooh books. Winnie the Pooh is just always something that it just encapsulates my entire childhood. And Eeyore being really sarcastic about his tail as well. So funny. I have my Winnie the Pooh childhood book behind me. But I went to Liverpool Comic Con the Sunday, so I read this on the Saturday, went on the Sunday, and this is now signed by the voice of Winnie and Tigger, Jim Cummins. So he signed this. I took my childhood bear with me and I was dressed as Eeyore. It was such a lovely moment. I have the photos as well, which is going into a scrapbook. Yeah, this is by Ronald Kidd. I have the collection, but I've not read the others yet, so I've just read this one. It's so lovely. Yeah, so that was the first physical book I read. Then for audio, I finished Mr. Magic. I gave this 4 stars. It had a great depiction of culty religious trauma and the effects it has on its victims. Mr. Magic is by Kirsten White, and it's basically about former child stars reuniting to uncover a tragedy that ended their show and discover the secret of its host. So it's 30 years after an accident shut down the production of the show. Mr. Magic actually very much reminds me of some of the actual shows that I watched as a child. It's like the ones that no one else seems to remember. For example, the Boo Bars. No one I've ever spoke to remembers them. But I was addicted to that show as a kid. Yeah. No one remembers it. But it just shows how freaky the Mandela effect and how real that can actually be, because no one remembers that show but me. The amount of people I spoke to and just go, what is that? And I have to Google it. It gives the vibe of horror alongside a very messed up childhood. And it was amazing. I actually ended up buying it physically, because it had certain things in it, like anecdote, like Wikipedia pages and stuff that I just didn't have at the time to actually look at. So I've actually bought it physically now, so it sits on my shelf, which you'll see it in a haul that I'll do. But yeah. Then I read Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is the first book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. Gave that 4 stars. It's about Clementine, or Emmy Ryder, who comes back to her hometown. It's a romance. She has an accident that makes it impossible for her to get back in the saddle, but then she meets Luke Brooks, who helps her regain her ability to ride again. It's very fast paced. It's got a balance between the cute moments and the sexy moments. And you get to see an in-depth of both characters as individuals as well as a couple. Yeah, so it was actually good. First cowboy romance. I also read Ghost Hunting for Dummies by Zach Bagans. One thing you should know about me: I love ghost adventures. I love ghost hunting. I have a diploma in parapsychology. I have had experiences, actual paranormal experiences, within this house, within this room that I'm currently sat in. One happened last night. I'm currently sat literally directly across the way from where it happened. A lot happens in this house. This is such an amazing deep. I mean, I've annotated it kind of. I've highlighted like bits in it. It's such a deep dive into the world of the supernatural, and I have ghost hunting equipment and stuff. I want to go ghost hunting properly in haunted places. It's amazing. It took me so long to read. Actually, it didn't take me that long. Actually, it took me 3 weeks. No, it didn't. It took me a week. It took me a week to read. It's so good. There you go. That's a good example of what highlighting I did. Yeah, 5 stars. Just perfect. I learnt a lot. It's just informative insight to the moments and places they've visited as well in America. And it's just helped me understand more about my own spiritual sensitivities and stuff. This is one that I'm going to go back to for a very long time. I have his other books as well, plus Christian Day's books. You'll see Christian Days in the hall because I got it recently. But yeah, I'm learning so much. It's so good. Then I read a bit of a transition from ghost hunting to Swift and Saddled, which is the second one by Lila Sage in the Rebel and Blue Ranch. This, though, I gave 3 stars. This wasn't as good as the first one. So it's about a city girl who refused to be saddled with a man. But the cowboy wants her anyway. So this is the story about Wes. Wes is Emmy's brother. And Ada Hart, who is Teddy's friend. Teddy is also Emmy's best friend. Ada is also the contractor. It's got a charming romance, and Wes is very much like a golden retriever. But the romance got muddled between a lot of the plots and subplots, so it just got very complicated. There was representations of chronic depression, which enhanced Wes's character, but it was not substantial enough, which was very similar to Emmy's issue with the ADHD in the first book. Like, it enhanced her character, but it wasn't enough to make it substantial enough for anyone to actually be bothered. Like, it was mentioned as a throwaway kind of thing. But yeah. Then, so I read that on Kindle. I read A Maze Runner by James Dashner. First in the Maze Runner series. So this is this is when Thomas wakes up in the lift and the only thing he can remember is his name, when he's surrounded by strangers, boys whose memories are also gone, and then they end up in the glade, the encampment at the centre of the terrible Amazing. You have no idea why they're there. This is an annotated one. I annotated this. Not recently when I first read this. This is a reread, but I didn't have it logged in Goodreads. So yeah. I read this, I think, when I left high school going into college. But I never read the others, so I have the others sitting there ready. So give this 4 stars. It's action-packed, full of adventure kind of thing. Moments, suspense, everything like that. Characters felt like they were actual teenagers in the way like they had the conversations and the way they acted and when they interacted with each other. I love Newt and Thomas. I've seen the films, all 3. Love the films. And the writing style just kind of lacked luster in certain parts. Like I was finding myself getting a bit bored. Skim reading in certain areas, but we'll see how the others go. I'm keeping this because I've annotated it, but normally it probably would have gone. But I'm keeping it in my annotated edition. Then I read First Down, which is Beyond the Play. So Rebel Blue Ranch has a 3rd book coming out, but after the way the 2nd one went, I'm not really going to read it. But first, Beyond the Play is Grace Riley's sports romance series. So I tried First Down, which is the first one. 3 stars. It's about fake dating, tutoring the star quarterback. He's moved schools and he meets this girl and she tutors him. But the fake dating actually didn't accomplish anything because everyone knew it was fake. The whole point of fake dating, let me actually speak in English. The whole point of fake dating is to be fake dating. No one knows that you're not actually dating. James has a huge saviour complex and it gets in the way of absolutely everything. I get wanting to be overprotective and save her from her abusive ex, but just seems to tone it down a little. Bit much. And I didn't like his dad. Couldn't stand his dad. It's always career before life, which is an awful way to live. Like, it shouldn't be career before life. And it's like, you need to put your family first no matter what it costs. It's horrible thinking go off and play the game and for one of them to be in hospital, which actually did happen in the book. He went off to play a game while his wife was stuck in hospital. Who does that? Apparently him, which is awful. So no. So no, I'm not continuing on with that series because no. So then I continued on with the Mortal Instruments series. I read City of Fallen Angels. So this was not long after I'd actually met Alan Van Sprang, Dominic Sherwood and Matthew Daddario. So I thought I might as well continue on. I've got 2 books left in the Mortal Instruments before I move on to the next piece of that story. 5 stars. This one was actually quite good. I didn't like the 3rd one, but I like this one. The character development was great. Isabel was more complex. Jace was just more than a sarcastic main character. I mean, I love Jace anyway, but he became much more. The politics of the Downworlders was more emphasised as well. How they impact the world, and it gave them greater understanding, especially Lilith. I like learning about that kind of stuff. Lilith was really cool. Yeah. That was 4 stars, and that's by Cassandra Clare. I know I keep forgetting to mention the authors. The last book in May that I read, a short one, Runaway Max by Brianna Yuvanov. Probably butchered that. I think it's Russian. But this is about Max before like she joins the Strange Things universe. So you like meet her when she's like just moved from California to Hawkins. So it's like when she's not like she's not soft and frilly like her mum wants to be. She never says the right thing. She spends the day in an arcade rather than trying to actually fit in. This mentions Eddie. I don't know whether it's Eddie as in the Eddie we think it is. What I think it is. But I know it mentions a guy called Eddie, so that's quite interesting. It's like Billy is out of control kind of thing. I gave this 4 stars. It was alright. It's interesting to see her past and like her friendships and how she lived in California. And it's nice seeing like a family dynamic. Not that it's not a nice family dynamic, but it's nice to see it because you don't get to see it in the show even a lot. It's just something different. But yeah, so that's what I've read. That's what I've read in May. So I'll tell you what I'm currently reading. So I'm currently reading Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, the second one in the Fourth Wing series. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, which is I'm reading on my Kindle, which is the first one in the Dreamland Billionaire series. And then Lessons in Chemistry, which is by Bonnie Garmus, which is my audiobook. So that's currently what I'm reading. But yeah. So that's all 10 books I managed to read in May, which is quite impressive. I don't know how I managed it. God knows how I managed to read 10 books in May. I'm impressed, very impressed with myself. It's a lot. Yeah. My book buying banner seemed to have gone out the window though, so there will be a book haul coming. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, there'll be more. I will be finishing off my GCSE photography series soon, so you'll see that. I think I've only got 2 more books left to show for that series, and then that's that. I will do some scrapbook ones, don't worry, those will be coming. And then see where we go from there. Bye.